As a roofer or home service contractor who's running ads or generating leads, either through Meta, Google, TikTok, YouTube, any lead generation source for that matter, you've probably seen that in the last few years, especially, your leads are very cold. If you compare it to a word of mouth or referral lead or just how things were a couple of years back, the intent just isn't the same. You can have the best warranties, best sales pitch, presentation, the best salespeople. It's usually just not going to be as warm, and they're not going to trust you, like you, or know you as much as a word of mouth or referral lead would. Now, this is one of the things that can absolutely kill your sales process, because you're sending out your guys to probably sit at the kitchen table for 3 hours trying to convince a homeowner. The sales cycles are usually longer. People have to think about it. They have to do their due diligence because they just don't trust you as much. And overall, your close rate's usually not as high as it could be, or it is, but you have to undercut yourself, get smaller margins to even compete on some of the jobs that you're bidding for. Overall, you're leaving a ton of money on the table by not having homeowners actually trust you and know you and like you. Now, most roofers are going to blame this on the sales. They're just going to tell their closers to do better, but that is not the problem. It's actually what happens before your sales rep even shows up to the appointment. And there's a simple fix that you can implement in your roofing business, which I'll walk you through in this video specifically, that'll help you get better show rates, better close rates, shorter sales cycles, and higher contract value, because your homeowners are going to be pre-sold, warmed up, and actually bought in on your company, so that by the time your sales rep shows up, they already know you, they already trust you, and they already like you, just like a word of mouth or referral lead would. Now, before I jump into that, I want to explain why this is even happening in the first place. Then I'll kind of break down the fix that we have for this problem specifically. Now, the thing to understand fundamentally with the market that we're at and where things are at in 2026 in the roofing market, which this is the year that I'm recording this video, is we are in an information market. So homeowners have way more information than they used to. They have an insane amount of information at their disposal before they actually make a buying decision at actually getting the roof replaced or getting the roof repaired. 30 years ago, it might have just been somebody like knocking at their door, telling them they have damage, they can get it approved through the insurance, kind of just explaining the process and getting it done then and there. Or the homeowner might just check yellow pages, call a few companies, and basically trust the salesperson's word. That was the fundamental thing. The business used to hold the knowledge, and the homeowner just has to trust you. But today it's completely different. The things are basically reversed now. Homeowners can do a bunch of research on Google, hours of research. They can ask ChatGPT. They can get online quotes, the free roofing calculator quotes. They can get YouTube videos. They can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, compare different companies, read 300 different reviews, a bunch of different companies. AI only makes this crazier as time goes, because now people can literally just get a ton of information on a topic, specifically on the roof, the age, what they should look for in a roofer. This completely switches things, because like I said, a couple of years back, the business knew everything. The business was the one that was educating the homeowner. They knew 100 things. The consumer knew 10 things. Today, it's more like the business knows 100 things, but the consumer can learn 80 things just by doing 30 minutes of research, or at least they think that they know a bunch of things. Now, why this matters and why this is important for your roofing business is because just being the roofer that comes out and just gives them a little bit of information becomes way less valuable in this kind of market, because everyone has access to it. Everyone can do research. Everyone can ask ChatGPT what a roof costs, or the insurance process or anything like that. So just telling them that you install quality roofs, you have good warranties, you have the best price, it doesn't really mean anything. You're no different than any other roofer, and it's kind of the same sales pitch or presentation that was used 20 years ago, which, as we've went through, doesn't really work anymore. What we've seen actually works in this kind of market is actually providing value and giving the homeowner clarity through all the smoke and the information that's out there. Again, there's so much information, so it's much more powerful to actually help the homeowner go through it and make a decision on that and interpret the information that's out there. Explaining reasons why insurance claims get delayed, the process, what actually to look for on your property. That's much more powerful, because again, you're actually helping them interpret what's out there and make a decision. Because as a business, they don't need you to tell them about the quality. They need you to actually give them clarity and judgment and proof and certainty in their decision. And we've seen that the roofer who educates the homeowner and actually gives them the right info is the one who's going to win. So essentially, before I kind of jump into the fix that we have, homeowners used to buy because home service businesses, they had the information and the homeowners didn't. But nowadays, consumers have a ton of information because they can just go online and ask AI. And so they actually buy from a business that helps them make sense of it and feel certain about their decision through all the smoke. Now, what we use and the fix to be able to adapt to this kind of market, I'll walk you through. We call it brand indoctrination, but essentially what it consists of is to give the homeowner the information before the appointment. So you help them with that clarity and with that trust and with that proof before they even talk to you. So you don't have to sit at the kitchen table for 3 hours just telling them how good you are. You want to build the know, trust, like factor before they've even spoken to your sales. So they know you, they know your company, they know that you're established, they trust you, they've seen your reviews, they know that you're a quality company in their area, and they like you just because they've seen so much of your company. And when you hit these 3 areas, you've probably seen that that's usually what a referral lead is like. Obviously, they know you, they trust you, they like you because they've heard of you from like their family or their friends or anything like that. So you're going to have a much higher chance of closing them. So brand indoctrination, essentially what we do is prior to the appointment, we want to hammer your leads with intentional value-packed videos that answer those questions and actually give them clarity. So they answer questions, they answer objections, concerns that a homeowner might have about the roof and the process and the insurance and the financing and all the different things that they might ask you on the appointment. We want to give them that value before the appointment ever happens. For example, one of our roofers, the kind of videos that we had outlined with, and this is a roofer that we're working with in Oklahoma City. This is Heiner Roofing. It's a ton of videos that answer questions for that market specifically. Obviously, Oklahoma City being primarily an insurance market, it's a lot about insurance claims. But like, for example, if we check one of these, we want to help answer a question about the insurance process.
Insurance claims that could save them thousands.
And obviously, this is the owner answering a question about the insurance process. This one is going to be, for example, about roof leaks.
Ventilation is
explaining about roof leaks. There's ones about, what an actual quality roofing company does. Essentially just trying to put them in a category of their own as the roofer who is the trusted leader, basically like somebody who's an expert, somebody who is better than the other roofers, who can actually educate the homeowner and help them see through all the information that's out there and actually give them clarity on who is the better decision for them. And this is a campaign that we're running for this guy, and this is crushing because prior to the appointment, these leads are being bombarded with these kind of videos to where by the time that they actually show up, the sales rep shows up, that person is much warmer. Now, concretely, how we set this up, because you might be asking yourself like, okay, how do you even show the homeowners these videos? It's pretty simple. The way it works is as soon as the lead comes in, say that hypothetically the lead came in on Monday, when they come in, they're added to what we call a custom Facebook audience. So to be clear, we run most of our advertising through Meta, so through Facebook. So it's a custom audience. What that means is, let's say we generate 100 leads for this guy. So for Heiner Roofing, we're going to create a custom lead audience. So it's just those 100 people in that audience. And these are the people that we're going to essentially indoctrinate with his content. We want them to just get that trust. So they're going to be seeing multiple videos every single day answering that question. And we just remove them from the audience once like the close has happened or the appointment has happened. So for example, let's say the lead came in on Monday and the appointment's on Thursday. Every single day, so 4 days, they might see like 10 videos of that roofer every single day. They might see like an hour, 2 hours of content on that roofer specifically. They might see that and go on their Google and do their research and check their Better Business Bureau and do all these different, pieces of research that are really, really, really going to build that trust factor. By the time that your rep shows up, that homeowner basically already has the expectations set. They know what it's going to cost because we address that in the videos. They know that you're a trusted company. They know that you're quality. They know your insurance process and what makes you different. That homeowner basically just needs an estimate. They need a price and they're ready to move forward. And so concretely, how we set this up for him, basically in the ads manager, like I said, we'll be setting up a specific campaign for this. So we have, you can see this is the ads manager. Obviously, you guys are not marketers, you're roofers, but we have about like 23 different videos that we're running for this guy. All of which, by the way, are a few minutes long. So we're literally indoctrinating these roofers to where every time they see a video, say they watch this one, which is a testimonial ad. This is basically the owner of the company, Chris, doing a video with somebody that they helped out with the roof. Once a homeowner sees a couple of seconds of that video, they're excluded from seeing that video again. So it literally just goes down and indoctrinates them with different pieces of content. So they saw the testimonial, now they're going to see, this video is about, protecting your biggest investment, basically just a video about the roof. Then we're going to have another video that's going to be about, again, just making it an investment. There's a ton of different videos. I don't know every single one of them, but we're really trying to build that trust and that likeness factor to where by the time that, again, the rep shows up, it's a much warmer appointment. They know the expectations. They're warm to get that deal done. And so what this does for your business, like I was kind of explaining, is the price shopping tire kickers, the people who just want like a cheap price, they're probably just going to cancel because the proper expectations are being set. So if they did just want like a $5,000 roof or something, you're probably not going to actually move forward with the appointment. So you're saving your sales team's time to focus on the right opportunities. And the homeowners that do show up are going to be very warm. They're going to be as warm as a referral because they already know you, they already like you, and they already trust you. So in turn, like I said earlier, You're going to get a higher contract value because you're actually able to charge what you're worth, since that homeowner knows that you're legit. You're not just competing on price. It's going to be an easier sales process, a higher close rate, because you're actually able to already have the trust built in before the appointment itself. A lot of roofers, why the appointments take so long and why it's like a 3-hour kitchen table interrogation, is because they have to build value for an hour. They have to ask questions, do all of this. But if the value building is already done for you, the whole appointment is going to be easier, and you can get a close in literally like an hour. So you're going to have a higher close rate and easier sales process. Your homeowners are going to be less skeptical. You're just going to have less headache. You know, as a business owner, and I'm sure you guys have had this happen before, you get these customers that don't trust you and they're headache. They're people who are very neurotic. You're working with these people who are very skeptical. They don't want to spend the money. That's never really the situation that you want to be in. In this case, you're working with somebody who trusts you. So it's going to be easier on your end. Like I said, shorter sales cycles, there's less thinking about it, because fundamentally, people thinking about it is because they lack certainty and trust in your company. But if that's already built in before the appointment, you've kind of taken care of that. And overall, just more scalability and more revenue, because you actually have a proper sales process in place. So to recap, like I mentioned throughout this video, the problem that we see is, again, we're in an information market. So homeowners have access to an insane amount of information, and a lot of people just aren't able to actually help them see through that information. And because of that, again, homeowners are just going to view you as another roofer. They're going to go do the research on ChatGPT, and you're not going to actually help them see clarity through it, which is why people need to think about it, because they don't have clarity, they don't have trust. But if you're able to build in that trust before your appointments and build the no trust like factor and give them the videos that'll answer their questions and give them clarity before your appointment, you're going to get people who are much warmer, who trust you, who like you. And by the time that your appointment happens, it's much easier to close that deal, and you're going to be in a better spot. So if you're a roofing business owner, you should implement this in your business, whether you're doing Meta ads, Google ads, it doesn't matter what you're doing. This is a no-brainer. And if you want us to implement something like this in your business, or you just want help with overall your advertising and getting more appointments to feed your sales team, there's a link that I left below in the description. You can click that, book a call with one of the members on my team, and we'll see if it's a good fit. Other than that, appreciate you for watching. I'll keep dropping more content to help more roofers, and God bless you.